Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you for joining me for this pre-recorded video. And we are going to talk about Michael Oliver. We're going to talk about him, and obviously, do you know what I mean? The fact that there is a petition, and I'll put the link down in the description. Okay, and for you guys to be able to click on the petition, and you can put your signature, because the signature, well, it will be explained in the video of what I'm going to show you. Do you know what I mean? If I'll just give me a second, and I'll just get it all sorted. Yes, people. So yeah, I've got the video all lined up. So we're gonna look through this video, and he's gonna explain why he wants your signature, and he's going to explain a little bit about Michael Oliver and what's actually going on. Do you know what I mean? And how it's affecting us as Liverpool Football Club, and how it's affecting things like Arsenal and Everton. Do you know what I mean? All in favour for Man City. I need to change my style of my banner. Sorry. What's it? Change style of my banner. That's better. Yeah. So it's gonna all be explained. So listen. Not further ado, as I say. No further ado. Let's let's do this. You know what I mean? All right, let's do this now. All right, sorry. Let me get my background sorted as well to Russ Clark. Let me get my background back around it sorted. That's it. My background sorted, and let's play this video. Get out of it.
Okay. So the response to my latest video about Oliver Webb, PGMOL, has been quite overwhelming.
This guy actually lives in Canada, but he's I'm gonna get up more videos of him, and he's gonna explain to you, obviously how long he's been a Liverpool fan. He's been a Liverpool fan since the 60s. One of the videos he talks about going to sort of like a game in 1966, obviously a lifetime ago. But he's going to explain a bit, obviously, about the PGMOL, Michael Oliver, and Harry Webb, and so forth.
It's over 14,000 views strong as of recording this, and still going strong. Now, interestingly, my earlier videos on this subject around the PGMOL, Howard Webb, Oliver, David Coote, etc., also got a massive amount of views, even though the channel back then was really tiny. It's not a big channel now. We still only got just over 7,200 subscribers, and yet these videos invariably explode every time I post one of them. And I think there's a big reason for that. What it tells me is that this subject resonates with all football fans. This is not only about us Liverpool fans. Even though we've been on the end of a lot of dodgy decisions, so have many other teams.
That's big facts. That is big facts. That's big facts. You know what I mean? Some people think, because it doesn't affect them, do you know what I mean, they should not be bothered. But listen, this affects a lot of teams, do you know what I mean, of what actually has happened. Do you know what I mean?
This latest video I did yesterday had messages of support from Man United fans and Arsenal fans and fans of many other teams. And it also had messages of support from all around the world. So it just tells you how much this topic resonates with people, how many people feel aggrieved with what's going on. And just a couple of data points to support the strength of feeling around this. This latest video got 99.4% likes or thumbs up. And that equates to 1,145 likes and only 7 dislikes. So that just shows you that in general, the whole football population is saying, yeah, something is amiss here. And a lot of the comments were saying things like, we absolutely agree with you. Good for you for exposing this. Good for you for tackling this subject matter. But what can be done about it? What can we do about it? So overwhelmingly, fans want change. Fans of all clubs want change. Overwhelmingly, fans of virtually all clubs do not trust the PGMOL. Now, almost a year ago, I did a video demanding change, demanding an independent investigation into the PGMOL, into what goes on behind closed doors in that secret, non-transparent, clandestine organisation. But of course, me speaking into a camera just goes out into the ether, doesn't it? It doesn't change anything. So I decided, based on the outpouring of support from the tens of thousands who have watched these videos and who've supported this cause and who've commented on these videos, to actually do something about it. So today, about an hour ago, I started a petition for an independent investigation, thorough investigation into the PGMOL. And I'm hoping that this goes viral. And to do that, it needs your signature, it needs your support, and for you to please share it. And of course, share it across all Liverpool fans, but don't stop there. Share it across all football.
Do you know what it is? And listen, I'm in total agreement of this, because I think, you know what I mean, if we just sit in our hands, you know what I mean, these things are going to carry on. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, these people that are doing it is going to get away with it. And we're the only ones who are going to get screwed. Yeah, we're the only ones going to get screwed about it. Do you know what I mean? And so I'd say enough's enough. Do you know what I mean? Because like when he, one of these videos, I must get his other video up. I must do that. And I think I might do a pre-recorded reaction on that as well. Do you know what I mean? But he explains the fact that when we played Man City in Klopp's last season, and Doku fly kicked McAllister in the chest, had that penalty being given, and at that time, you can put your house on Mo Salah scoring that goal. Scoring a goal. You know what I mean? That makes it 2-1. So then we go 2 points clear of them. Do you know what I mean? And as I said, we had a decent record towards the end of the season. I'm not too sure if we lost any games towards the end of the season, because what it was always neck and neck. Do you know what I mean? Right. So they never gave that penalty. They never gave that penalty, and consequently we share the points. We dropped 2 points. But fun enough, when Man City won that title that season, they won it by 2 points. Do you see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm saying? And it was Michael Oliver is Michael Oliver involved in the decision not to give Liverpool a penalty? You know what I mean? These are the things that happens. You know what I mean? So, you know, if it can happen to us, if it can happen to us, it can happen to you guys.
Because we're all in this together. And the only way we can make something happen here is if we all get together as one and we tackle this PGMOL and what's going on. So I'll put a link down below and also put a link across the screen so it's easy for you to write it down or copy or paste or share or whatever you want to do with it. But please, if you could, share it. Let's get it to a number that cannot be ignored by the authorities. Now, I do want to say something here. I'm completely independent. I'm not on the payroll of anyone. I don't have sponsorships by anyone. So I don't have anybody to appease or any other, let's say, obstacles to get over. So I'm just doing this as a fan. I'm just doing this in the hope that I can be some kind of voice, or we together can be some kind of voice for the millions of fans who every week are watching what's going on and are questioning what's going on. And I also, like you probably, are sitting here wondering why the clubs aren't demanding this. Why is the media not demanding this? And the sad truth is that for whatever reason, and reasons I don't understand, they're just not. So I'm going to try and do it. I'm just a fan like you who wants change because I'm sick.
The reason why the media ain't doing it and people like that, because you probably got to think about the fact that they're all in it together, my friend. They're all in it together. You know what I mean? It looks like, to me at the end of the day, I'm going to call it like I see it. It looks like everybody's getting paid. Everybody's getting paid to turn a blind eye. So, listen, let me tell you guys something, yeah? This sort of thing, right, has not just started. I respect the fact at the end of the day of this guy and his channel's called You Never Walk Alone Reds. Do you know what I mean? So please go over there, hit a like and subscribe on his channel. He's a good guy. He talks a lot of facts. Now, the mere fact that he's doing that, you know, he's spitting a lot of facts and so forth. But this is a problem at the end of the day that's not just started just with Man City. It started way back with Man United. Do you know what I mean? Back in the 90s, back in the 2000s and stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? We started way back with them. When like Sky Sports and all those sort of people were looking for their new baby. They was fed up with Liverpool. They didn't want Liverpool as their brand. Do you know what I'm saying? So they wanted something new at Man United. Yeah. And why I say that is because the fact is when you look at Man United, the structure of it, so Alex Ferguson, whatever you want to call him, used to sit on the board of the Premiership. How can that be right? Do you know what I mean? How can that be right? And then you sitting on the board of the Premiership, and then the Premiership, which is a competition that you've got a team in. Isn't that a conflict of interest? But no, you let that ride, and then throughout his tenure, throughout the rest of his tenure, and then because the Premier League only started in 1992. You let that ride all the way through up to his retirement. Then you had the situation of like when Chelsea came in, and Abramovich came and bought Chelsea, and they can buy any player that they wanted. Them guys were cooking the books for a long time. Do you know what I mean? But no, we said a damn thing because everybody's getting paid. Then now you got this now. Now it escalates to sort of like Man City. Do you know what I mean? Where these guys at the day, right? I've got a bottle of pits of money. They've got the best lawyers that can tie you up in sort of like legal proceedings for years and years, and till you get fed up. You know what I mean? They can literally do anything they want. They can do anything they want and pay anybody they want. Do you understand what I'm saying? To swing things in their own narrative. Do you understand what I'm getting at? You know what I mean? So this problem that we've got is not something that started with Michael Oliver, and it probably won't end with Michael Oliver. But you know what? We can fight for it to end with Michael Oliver and his cronies. We go back to the video. Let's go back to the video.
I'm sick of them and their gross incompetence, their incomprehensible decision making, and their lack of accountability for any of it. And I believe that it is long overdue that the PGMOL needs to be investigated by a completely independent and unbiased body. For an independent, unbiased body to go in and review exactly what is going on, who's in charge, who is making the big decisions, and how. I want their financial records audited to see how they make their money and what are the sources of that money. And I'd like to see their email and text communications looked into as well. In other words, full transparency, a full detailed review, followed by a full detailed public report on the findings to prove to all of us, one way or the other, if this organization, the PGMOL, is fit for purpose, to prove one way or another if it is ethically and morally and financially above board or not. This organization, as it stands, literally have the ability to decide titles, decide promotions and relegations, decide which teams get the European spots and which do not, decide which team wins a game and which team loses a game. And with that level of responsibility comes accountability, or it should come with accountability. And yet they're currently held accountable for absolutely nothing. They don't even have to explain their decisions. Fans everywhere are outraged every week, and it is just glossed over and we move on. And that has to change, surely. And it's not challenged by the clubs, who, if they do, they get fined. It's not challenged by the media for reasons I don't know. It's not challenged by anybody. So let us challenge it. Yeah. And maybe a petition is just a small first step towards a full investigation, but at least it is a first step. And maybe it can lead to a tsunami of global fan support, a global fan support from across all clubs that simply cannot be ignored by the clubs, the PGMOL, the Premier League, and the FA. So please support it if you believe as strongly as I do that accountability and transparency is long overdue. And if every week moving forward, you want to be absolutely certain and assured that our clubs and our league are being represented by officials of high morals, high integrity, and zero bias. So please sign a petition, because silence is acceptance, so let's not be silent anymore.
Yeah,
let's do something about it. Now, one last thing to mention. When you sign a petition, it will ask you for a donation.
Yeah, we did, yes, he just talks about sort of like, in fact, at the end of the day, that when you sign a petition, you ask for a donation. And I've signed a petition, and he did ask me for like a donation, and I just opted out that. But what he's trying to explain is the fact that donation that they asked for doesn't go to him. It doesn't go to him. You know what I mean? It's to them. You know what I mean? It's to the company that he obviously signed up, that he's actually got this petition organized. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, it's literally at the day one of those ones still. So don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Sign up petition, and as he says, the money does not go to him. So don't make that deter you from sort of like obviously signing a petition, because as he said, silence is acceptance. You know what I mean? Silence is acceptance, and something has to be done. Something has to be done, because other leagues across across Europe, if there's something that is like they feel that is not right, they're investigating and people will get held to account. You know what I mean? Like you got people like in the Serie A, Inter Milan was involved in match fixing, Inter Milan, Juventus, and so forth, and they all got their comeuppance. You know what I mean? So why can't we do the same thing? Do you know what I mean? Why can't we do the same thing? Why is it that we have to sort of like not seem to be doing nothing and people just get away with it? And it's just, to me, at the end of the day, it's just not right. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description, obviously, of for you to sign. You know, for you to sign the what's that? For you to sign the petition for, you know, just for change. We want change. We want change. Yeah. So before I go, I'd just like to talk about the boxing last night with Chris Eubanks Jr. and Conor Benn. Do you know what I mean? And it was like obviously the grudge match. You know what I mean? It was a grudge match and it was a return, wasn't it? I mean, the first fight that they had, I thought that Conor Benn won it. I thought Conor Benn just done enough to win it. But unfortunately, when you hold a title, you have to convincingly beat the opponent. If it's close, they're going to give it to the person that's a champion, even though it wasn't a championship fight. So that was a good fight. That was a good fight. The first fight was a good fight. But as I said, Chris Eubanks Jr. won that first fight. So this was like the return last night. And I'll tell you something. I was watching Conor Benn fight, and it was just like watching Nigel Benn. It was just like watching his dad. He rolled back the years of how, you know what I mean, of how you should box. Get behind the jab, make him miss, make him pay. Right hands over the top, sharp and crisp jabs. You know what I mean? It's like Chris Eubanks couldn't live with him. Do you know what I mean? And I had Nigel Benn winning every round. Apart from the third, I think if you're gonna be kind, you'll give sort of like the third round to Chris Eubanks, but all the rest of the rounds, Conor Benn took that. Do you know what I mean? Come to the last round and like Conor Benn still had all his energy with him, all his energy, and he's just they get me out, jab, bobbing and weaving, and so forth. And they had a flurry in that. Towards the end of the fight, they had a flurry, and Nigel Benn's clipped him. Conor Benn's clipped him. Caught him with a nice punch, clipped him, and Chris Eubanks Jr.'s feet could not stand up, and he went over. And then he got up. I thought that sort of like he got up. Yeah, he got up, and Conor Benn went for him again. Hit him with some fast combination uppercuts, hooks, and all sorts. It was really good, and put him down again. I thought he was going to finish him, but like basically, end of the day, the bell saved Chris Eubanks Jr. But that was a great fight yesterday. Roll back the years of how he used to be in the 80s and 90s, man. You just roll back the years. The days that when you had boxing on ITV, but you also had boxing on BBC One. You know, I mean, those were good days. I think to me, those were good days before these satellite people, like Sky TV got involved. Personally, I preferred it when it was on ITV. Do you know what I mean? Reg Guttridge and all that, and the Scottish guy. I can't remember his name. I think it's Jim White, isn't it? I'm sure it's Jim White. I'm sure he's right because he was like, he's a Scottish fella, but he was lightweight champion of the world back in the day. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just those days, man. You know what I mean? But it's roll back the years. But that was a great fight yesterday. A great advert for British boxing. Do you know what I mean? However, I don't think they should fight again. I think you should that's it, move on. Do you know what I mean? You already proved it in the day that like you should have won the first fight and by winning the second fight in such dramatic fashion. So I don't think they should have a return. Do you know what I mean? But it was a great fight, you see. I loved every minute of it. Do you know what I mean? From start to finish. Do you know what I mean? Okay, guys, you'll see me again soon. See me again soon. I want to put out more reaction to that guy, You Never Walk Alone, Reds. I want to put some more reaction to his content. So I expect to see more of his content on here. Very great guy. Very great guy. So guys, listen, tell me what you think of the video. Tell me what you think of the video. Tell me if you're going to sign a position. Tell me if you're going to sign a position. Then, as I said, link's going to be in the description. So hit that link and sign a position. So yeah, tell me what you think of the video. Put your comments down below. Also, hit me up with some likes, please. Likes. And if you have to subscribe to the channel, what you waiting for? No, seriously, what you waiting for, though, innit? Yeah, man, please subscribe to the channel, okay? Take care, love and respect, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. You never walk alone.